Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show with me, Ralph Friedrichs. Today, I want to address something because a lot of people constantly, weekly sometimes, send me emails and saying to me, why do you do what you're doing? Although I am an addiction recovery coach, I hardly ever make any money doing this. But yet I spend tons and tons of money to promote and focus on recovery. So people always say, why do you do what you do? Well, today's topic, stay tuned, is helping others in recovery. Addicts help themselves by helping others. And I'll explain to you how that works. First, not more importantly, but as important, I need to give a shout out to a good friend of mine, Dr. Luis Gonzalez from StartingPointMN.com. Dr. Gonzalez has two entities to his business. Well, he has three, but two that I speak about. The first one is to walk with you from your addiction to your recovery daily, hand in hand, 24 hours at a time. He will never ever, like myself, look at your past because honestly, we're not counselors, we're not therapists. What we are is addiction recovery coaches, and what we want to do is motivate you. We want to get those questions answered that you already have the answers inside you to the surface. So our job is to help you do that 24 hours at a time. It's like the good old AA concept. One day at a time. Call him 844-414-8444. That's Dr. Luis Gonzalez from StartingPointMN.com. On the other side of his business, he can turn you, yes you, into an addiction recovery coach. If you have passion, personality, and professionalism, he can help you become an addiction recovery coach. But you need to really give him a call at 844-414-8444. Tell him that Ralph Friedrichs from Take Your Life Back Today show sent you. Also give a shout out to GlobalEyeglasses.com, where they are focused on saving you money. They have transitions, they have photochromatics, they have polarization, they have line bifocals, they have no line bifocals. They have over 1,200 frames. Even Elton John would be amazed by some of the styles they have. The frames start as low as $6. You need to get in touch with GlobalEyeglasses.com, and if you have any questions whatsoever about the company, you can certainly text me at 631-599-0218, or you can call me at 844-405-HELP, because not only do I know this company very well, but I am also a board-certified optician, and I can certainly help you. Also want to just give you a quick update on my website. It is still in construction. However, it is available for you to view. All you need to do is go to www.takeyourlifebacktodayShow.com, and you can see what's going on. We have over 350 shows under our belt now. Of course, shooting for that 1,000 is far down the road, but we are slowly but surely moving there. Again, people always say to me, why do you do what you do? What satisfaction do you get? What do you get out of it? Do you make money out of it? Well, let me answer some of those questions. First thing is I am an addiction recovery coach, but I didn't become an addiction recovery coach for the money. What I became an addiction recovery coach is to help you, because my concept, as you will tell when you read my website under blog, is by helping you, I help myself. How does that work? Well, when I do these shows, when I do my websites, when I go do my blog, when I do my visiting people, when I do my interviews on the street, that is a daily reminder of what I am living and where I've come from. So by doing constantly and consistently with everyone in reference to focusing on recovery, that is why I do it. Because AA just was not actively enough for me. Sitting in a classroom or in a church for an hour and a half a day will not prevent me from drinking again. But doing what I am doing, the way I'm doing it, the way I have been doing it for a year and a half now, is very effective, and I can promise you that no matter what methods you try, if you try my methods, it will help take your life back. Let's go right into it. Helping others in recovery. Recovery addicts help themselves by helping others. There are many resources available to help those struggling with addiction. The variety of what is available should mean that there is something to suit everyone. There's so many different ways. Much of this help is offered by people who have personal experience of dealing with addiction, like myself. Those ex-addicts who dedicate their time to helping others are not doing this for purely selfless reasons. Instead, they have come to realize by helping others they can help themselves as well, and that is exactly head on why I do what I do, because when I help you selfishly, I help myself. It is a team effort, two addicts together. A famous 12-step Alcoholics Anonymous saying sums this up very well. To keep you have to give it away. To keep it, you have to give it away. Regardless of membership in AA or any other 12-step approach to rehab, helping others who have a drug or alcohol addiction problem can be very helpful to one's own recovery. Service in AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is not by any means the only and far from the first or last one that's available for help. Still, it is a good example of the value of service, as indeed in itself founded on that its very basis was based on the analogy by one helping another. The group developed after one alcoholic tried to help another. This is now the legendary story of the first meeting between Bill W. and Dr. Bob in 1935. Bill W. had been sober for a few months but felt on the verge of a relapse. He felt, however, inspired by membership in the Oxford group, that if he could help another alcoholic, it would help him stay sober as well. It was this that led him to a hospital bed of Dr. Bob. This approach of one drunk helping another was so successful that it led to the growth of one of the largest community-based self-help movements. The concept, I don't agree with AA, but the concept itself by Bill W. visiting Dr. Bob, one addicted person helping the other addicted person, coming together and working together, is giving benefit to both Bill W. and Dr. Bob. And the concept is brilliant. The benefits of helping others. The person who benefits the most from the service may be the one offering it. That is truly my mission. It's because when I offer, and believe me, 6 to 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, when I offer these services to you, I am offering and helping myself. I don't sit in front of this camera. I don't do the shows. I don't do the websites. I don't do any of the walking around on streets and talking to people or interviewing over the radio or over the phone via radio. I do it to help you by helping me. It reminds me of the individual of where they have come from. This should mean that they are less likely to relapse. The pain of addiction begins to wane over time into memory. This means that people can begin to wonder if their old life was really that bad. Such thinking can be disastrous if it's left unchecked. By spending time with those who are struggling with addiction, it becomes harder to forget their pain. It's by repetition. It's by doing it. I kind of classify it on my website as on-the-job training. Anytime you start a new job, you will learn more by continuously doing daily. You can graduate with a bachelor's degree, come out of college, but you will not know the job until you do it over and over and over. Books will not teach you these things. However, AA has the big book. They will read it over and over and over, the 12-step over and over. But unless you utilize it in a daily way, all that is not realistically going to work. But by continuously being around other addicted people and helping them, this does work. Here are some of my methods that I find work best. Those who help others are less likely to suffer from depression, because when you help another person, whether it's in the addiction field, helping a neighbor pick up something, helping an elder, your self-esteem inflates. It just moves straight up to the top. And that is another reason. It increases self-esteem because the giver, meaning me, now feels like they have something useful to offer society. I feel by doing these shows that I am hopefully helping someone out there. It allows people to develop new skills and builds their confidence. Many addicts may have poor work history. Voluntary work can be the first step into teaching them responsibility and possibly giving them a brand new career. Addicts tend to be extremely self-absorbed. By thinking about others for a change, it allows them to escape the focus on it's all about me. Such a change in perspective can be highly refreshing for the addicted and the person that's trying to help. A recent study by Case Western Reserve University School of Medicine found that helping others improves the lives of people in addiction recovery. Those that are the recipient of such help benefit because addicts find it hard to trust other people. They may be suspicious of motives of do-gooders, or just feel that such people really don't understand. It is much easier for an ex-addict to win the trust of an addictive or active substance abuser. People in recovery will have wealth of experience that will benefit to others following the same path. It is arguable that a recovering addict will have much greater understanding of the needs of their fellow addicted people because they have been there, they live it. How do you help others in recovery? There are potentially endless ways that people will be able to help others in recovery. Some of the most common ways of doing so include service in a 12-step or any support group, voluntary work with addicts, visiting addicts in prison, visiting addicts in hospital, creating a website or a blog that focuses on recovery, joining an online addiction web forum and offering advice and support, giving talks in venues such as schools, possibly churches, offering phone numbers or email addresses to addicts who are struggling, stopping to talk with addicts who are down in their luck, sometimes even offering a smile is a great tool. The dangers of helping others are many addicts turn to addiction because they are trying to escape their life. A similar attitude can develop when it comes to helping other people. The individual doesn't want to examine their own problems, so they focus completely on your problems. This type of coping mechanism can lead to dissatisfaction and burnout. The individual may begin to feel that people are trying to help are very ungrateful towards them. In other words, for an example, after 350 shows, I hopefully will never get the feeling that I'm not helping, because I am helping. I only shoot for 2 people per show. One of them is a given, that's me. Is the other one you? Joining the caring profession. For anyone that's out there, and if you are planning on joining this caring profession, reach out to Dr. Luis Gonzalez at startingpointmn.com, 844-414-8444. Helping other people in recovery is so rewarding that individuals may decide to turn this into a career and a passion like I have, a second career. There is no reason why people shouldn't be paid for this type of work, but it does change the relationship between the giver and the receiver. Those people who do decide to make helping a financial transaction need to adapt to the professional standards of their new role, including the ethical standards. This is my explanation of how or why I do what I do. I do what I do because I feel God has called upon me in 2013 to continue what He had asked me to do in 1981, and to do a quick recap on that because a lot of people might not know my story. In 1981, when I was in boot camp in the Marine Corps, the chaplain tapped me on my shoulder and asked me to come into his quiet room. As I sat there, he said to me, "Ralph, how would you like to become a lay reader?" Now, of course, I had no clue what a lay reader was. As he was saying this to me, he goes, "And in return, you'll get to make phone calls to your home and get some soda." Well, this was a huge gift. So I said, of course I'll become a lay reader, not even knowing what I was getting myself into. As time went on, a lay reader definition came very clear to me, and that was to help others. You see the connection? I was the liaison between the recruits and their problems and the chaplain who could solve those problems. I was in between there. I was the messenger between one to the other. I was the person, the voice of reason. It was then, in 1981, that God already set the stage of what would happen in 2013. Of course, I not only did not know that then, but throughout 81 all the way to 2013, didn't know that that was going to happen. In 2011, I did have a clue that it might happen because I created Mastic Beach Outreach 2011, and what that consists of is helping elders and helping handicaps. And that went off very well, but it still was not my calling. I needed to do something that I can directly relate to. And what better way for an alcoholic to directly relate to other alcoholics? What better for an addiction or addicted person to directly relate to other addicted people? June 22nd, 2013, when I had my rock bottom, and God said to me, Ralph, it is now time for you to continue doing what you were supposed to be doing in 81 and continuously doing. God could have called me many times before then. He had given me every opportunity. He had thrown every obstacle my way. Accidents. Major one in the Marine Corps. Another one in Alaska. A couple close calls with overdoses. Yet everything he threw in front of me, he kept me alive for a reason. And that reason was to become his servant in 2013, to continue and to fight and to focus on recovery through my mouth, through my show, to your living room, to your kitchen, to wherever you might be in jail or in a homeless shelter. Again, I want to make it very clear. I, although am a master addiction recovery coach, hardly earn any money doing this. The only money I've earned so far is through some sponsors. And that was just enough money to supplement some of my cost factors to continue doing my shows. I am totally spending 90% of my own money. And this is why I have asked people that watch my show to try to help me, not with money, but with other things, such as I need better equipment to continue my shows, better quality. I need some sort of possible place that I can sit down, like a studio, where I can interview people or even do my show from there. And I know my viewers, there are some of you folks that have the capabilities of helping, and in God's time, help will come. I wish I had the money to buy a better camera. But there is a lot of money that goes into doing these shows. But I will continue doing with the equipment that I have, with the living room that I sit in to do my shows, because even this little bit is still enough to keep focusing on recovery and addiction and the epidemic of drug war here in the United States and globally. I will continue doing what I'm doing, even with the lack of proper equipment, but there's something that I possess that no equipment, no studio can make any better, and that is me, my experience, and my passion to come into your living room, into your kitchen, into the jails, into the schools, into the homeless shelters, etc. But if there is anyone out there that can literally help me, text me at 631-599-0218. If there's anyone that has some better video camera for me to utilize, possibly a studio, or any other way, or possibly wants to help me during my shows as a team, reach out to me, 631-599-0218, or even call me on my hotline, 844-405-HELP. Let's do a recap on why it is so important that if you're addicted, by helping other addicted people, you are helping yourself. You might not realize it, but you truly are. Here are the reasons. Those who help others are less likely to suffer from depression because you are feeling better about yourself. When you help others, you feel better. It increases your self-esteem because the giver now feels that they have something useful to offer to you, society. It allows people to develop new skills and builds their confidence. Many addicts may have poor work history. Well, this voluntary work can be the first step back into a successful career. Addicts tend to be extremely self-absorbed. By thinking about others for a change allows them to escape their focus on themselves. Such a change in perspective can be highly refreshing in their own life. A recent study by Case Western Reserve University of Medicine found that helping others improves the lives of people in addiction recovery. Those are the recipient of such help benefit because addicts find it hard to trust other people. They may be suspicious of the motives of the do-gooders or just feel that such people really don't understand. It is much easier for an ex-addict to win the trust of an active substance abuser. In other words, I hope that you will trust what I tell you because I'm very transparent about me and my past, that you trust what I'm telling you is the correct thing. There is nothing for me to gain other than the satisfaction of knowing that I am helping you. People in recovery will have a wealth of experience that will be a benefit to others following the same path. My past, my experience, my daily struggles in recovery are going to help you. It is arguably that a recovering addict will have a much greater understanding of the needs of their fellow addicted people. How to help others in recovery. Service in a 12-step or any support group is one way. Voluntary work with addicts is another way. I need you. If you're out there, you want to help me in the crusade, get in touch with me, 631-599-0218. Visiting addicts in prison. That is so important. Being in prison is tough enough for people, but getting a visitor from family or from friends that'll say, you know why you're in here and you messed up and you're no good. But can you imagine visiting an addict and saying, I know what you're going through. I've been there. I used to be drunk. I used to be addicted to drugs. Joining an online addiction web forum and offering advice and support. Creating a website or a blog focusing on recovery. Giving talks in venues such as schools, churches. Offering phone numbers or email addresses to addicts who are struggling. Stopping to talk with addicts who are down on their luck, which I, during the summer, was doing on the streets of Mastic Beach. Sometimes even offering a smile and a hug can make a huge difference in an addict's life. What are the dangers of helping others? Many addicts turn to addiction because they are trying to escape their life. A similar attitude can be developed when it comes to helping other people. The individual doesn't want to examine their own problems, so they focus completely on someone else's problems. This type of coping mechanism can lead to dissatisfaction and burnout. The individual may begin to feel that people they are trying to help are ungrateful. I don't know, other than the comments and the phone calls and emails, of how much help I am to you folks. I don't know. That's why I depend on feedback. I am not, and the thousands that might be watching me, not watching this with you. I am the creator, the producer, the director of this. You are the audience. Email me at ralf@takeyourlifebacktodayShow.com or text me at 631-599-0218 and let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what needs to be done to improve. Let me know how maybe you can even help me. Joining a caring profession. Helping other people in recovery is so rewarding that an individual may decide to turn it into a career, whether it's a paying career or not. There is no reason why people shouldn't be paid for this type of work. but it does change the relationship between the giver and the receiver. Those people who do decide to make helping a financial transaction need to adapt to the professional standards of their new role, especially the ethical standards, the confidentiality between you and your person that you're helping. Folks, I hope this has helped. With all the questions I get is, why do I do what I do? It's a selfish act. I do what I do because I need help daily. Although sober for quite some time, I am still an alcoholic. I am still in recovery. And I depend on my audience, I depend on you to keep me sober as much as you depend on me to keep you sober. Remember, folks, a sober today makes for a better tomorrow. And if you let the sunshine into your heart and into your home, you will get nothing but positive results. If you think positive, you get positive results. Think about that. If you think positive, you will reap positive results. I hope to God that each and every one of you folks in my audience has a great day. But more importantly, I hope to God that you have a sober day. And may God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.